My name is Constance Casey, and I'm leading this guided meditation today. And I would like to invite you to work with what's happening in the moment, each and every moment, working with the breath and the body. Sometimes, as we just begin our guided meditation, takes some discipline because we don't want it, maybe. We don't like it. We don't want to approach it. And over time, that can change. That can definitely change. Meditation is actually designed to be pleasant, very pleasant, a form of release. And hidden in the fourth noble truth is concentration, right? Effort and mindfulness. And in there is hidden samadhi, deep concentration, which has rapture, which has clarity, which has many very beautiful qualities. But in the beginning, it might be that you don't like it. So it takes some discipline to come into the space and clear your time. Give yourself this time to really tune inward. Okay, so I'm going to guide you in working with this, because there are things that we do that we like, right? You can remember that. There are things we do that we like that have a good result. I I personally like brushing my teeth. I just like it. I like the feeling afterward, and it's a good result. I don't always like flossing my teeth, but it's still a good result, right? So there are things you don't like, but there is still a good result. And there are things that we like that we maybe do too much of, or we indulge in, that do not have a good result, right? And then there are things that we don't like and that have a bad result, and we don't have to worry about those because you're not going to do those. You don't like them, they have a bad result, you already know that. You're like, I'm not going to do that. But here you're stepping into something that you may like or not like that has a good result either way, depending on how you do it. So it can be helpful to receive guidance, to listen to the voice of another. And so I'll start the guided meditation with one ring of the bell, and I'll end it with 2 rings of the bell after my dedication. Okay? So please find a comfortable position where you can set aside distractions. So just feeling into the body, feeling the breath. You could actually start with feeling your hands resting on your lap. Sometimes just in pushing all of the buttons and getting started here, there's a little tension in your fingers, and you can just relax your hands and let them just open up or touch each other on your lap. Feeling your fingers, and feeling up into your wrist, coming up your arm, feeling your upper arms and your shoulders. And then some of us have this kind of chicken neck where our head is sort of thrust out as we've been signing in for things. And so you can bring your head back on your shoulders and just find the right middle. What feels really comfortable for you to just settle in, just being here now. And that means being with the breath as it's happening. So we're often breathing in association with how our mind is working. So you can offer breath energy to any difficulty in your mind. And again, working with that sense of discipline to just go, well, there could be a good result here. I'm learning how to be with the breath, and it's an experiment. And just breathing in a way that feels nourishing. And again, just noticing if you're pushing away your experience, if you're disliking, you're wanting to wander off in the mind and not feel what you're feeling with the breath. So just notice that. We're creating a space where the mind wants to stay. With friendliness and kindness, gentleness, we can open and see whatever is happening here as we're breathing in and breathing out. And so, whatever feelings are arising, notice the associated feeling in the breath. And then see if you can't just relax the breath or lengthen the breath, taking your relaxation even deeper. And by staying interested in these qualities of the breath, that's how we create a space for us to stay and then to realize the good results of our meditation, staying with it. Again, coming back and noticing if you've wandered off, entered into a circle of thought, not judging yourself for it, but just coming back gently, reinforcing the friendliness and the kindness that's available and here so that we can stay with it and be interested. And if you're stopping to itch, to feel an itch, just notice itchiness. Even that we can be friendly with. If you're noticing a feeling of boredom, you can investigate, how does the breath move in and out with a sense of boredom? Boredom is a kind of an ill will, a sort of pushing away from experience. But we can actually turn toward that and investigate that. Just working with harmonizing both the in-breath and the out-breath. Noticing how when there's something you don't like that's coming up, what do you do with that? How does your breath respond? See if you can deepen your breath and stretch yourself a little deeper. And just being honest with what's happening. Sometimes, if sort of a heaviness, a droopiness of the head is happening, you can just stop and notice it. Heaviness. And then just ever so gently, just bring your chin back up with intention and refresh your intention to just really investigate this breath, being with this breath, feeling the beginning, the middle, and the end of the breath just as it turns and goes out in an out breath. Your attention may also just want to ride along on the equanimity in my voice and in the quietude when my voice goes out. And then you can feed that equanimity into your attention on the breath. Just like you might be offering some wonderful homemade applesauce to a loving toddler that you're caring for. You're feeding your mind with kindness and equanimity. Again, tuning your attention to what feels pleasant and interesting. Or maybe it's unpleasant, but it's interesting for you to investigate right here and now. It helps you stay with it. Again, just noticing any vacillating between wanting to be here and not wanting to be here. Refreshing your intention and your curiosity. You can actually stay with the feelings and the sensate feeling of the breath around vacillating. And see if you can't even out the in-breath with the out-breath. If your mind is wandering off, you might be unknowingly more focused on the out-breath. The out-breath is very relaxing. And you can come back to taking many focused in-breaths. Again, we're just noticing any pushing away from experience, any ill will, any wandering off from what is happening right here and now with this breath. Feeling the breath, even noticing if you're forcing yourself to feel the breath. Just notice that is also a form of ill will. And see if you can't just transform that with some loving kindness. Breathe in a way that feels nourishing. We're trying to establish an atmosphere of friendliness, compassion. And there may even be some tenderness arising for you in your heart. And that's also really good to give attention to that. We can still have a good result from doing something we don't like by just noticing, inviting in peacefulness. So just take a moment to reflect on your experience. What state were you in the beginning? And then just contrast that with what you're feeling now. And just see if there's something you learned through this guided meditation. Or perhaps something you've noticed about your current state that you need to be aware of going forward in the next moments of your life. And now I'll offer a general dedication. May we all understand the importance of our lives, meeting inevitable difficulties throughout the day with more patience, kindness, and understanding. May we each cultivate our inner wisdom, self-respect, and compassion to serve as sources of healing in our troubled world. And may we all free our hearts and minds to awaken further each day.